Hello and welcome to the Life Pod, hosted by Michael Panay
and Karim Dow, brought to you by MK Enterprises, a community based on discussing life topics and driving continual personal development and growth.
Send through any topics you want covered and be sure to follow and tag us on all social media at MK Enterprises. We hope you enjoy today's episode.
What is going on, MK community? Hope you're well. Welcome back to another episode of the Life Pod, episode 14 about to go down. So today it's just Michael and I, and we went old school. We've just got all our topics written down on paper. You know, you write shit down, you remember it better. So, you know,
this is the first one. It's been in a while.
Yeah, first one without a guest in a while. It's actually been a hot minute.
And I think it's still good to definitely do ones like this on our own every now and again.
That's actually exactly why we did this, because we really wanted to use this time without a guest to
reflect
and go over everything that we've learned, and pretty much sum the last 12 episodes up for you guys, the good, the bad, what we've learned, how we've applied it, and sort of where we're going to go moving forward. So
spot on. So it is crazy. I've got the episode list in front of me, and this should be episode 14, which is crazy considering where we started.
And just quickly, again, sorry to cut you off again, but we both I can't even speak. Let me try that again. On behalf of Michael and I, we really like to say thank you and
huge thank you
to everyone for the support. Like, we are growing at a really fast rate, not even in terms of just like Instagram following, that sort of thing, just like the support, the engagement, the messages,
listeners, everything.
People just like liking our stuff, sharing it around, like the feedback you guys, the fact that you guys are loving it and saying that, oh, we took action here, oh, I tried this in my life and I did this with a friend, and like, we love saying, like, that's literally our purpose being fulfilled. So
yeah, exactly. Because at the end of the day, all it's about for us is, you know, helping you guys in the community and creating that community. And I mean, like, as I'm sure you guys can see in the titles of our first few episodes, like failure and everything like that, just shit in life that we all go through, and letting everyone know that, like, you know, they're not alone and everyone goes through it. And we really wanted to like create a platform and a community to help and encourage people.
Junior, get it out.
Help and encourage people to grow personally through personal development, and even like financially. Like, you've seen the last few episodes on us have been about NFTs and Bitcoins, and we know that, you know, it might not necessarily be attractive to some of our audience at the moment. We know that it is a huge part of the future in terms of finances, and it's it's a very serious investment pathway at the moment. So, you know, we're just trying to expose all avenues, even business. Like, we had Leo on episode 1 who was talking about having the right mindset for business, and then relationship with failure in regards to that. So yeah, what we want to do today.
First thing we wanted to cover is knowing your strengths and weaknesses, whether it be personal life, whether it be business, whether it be like in your job, for an example, like knowing what you're really good at, or like even if you're a student and you're studying, know what time you study best, how you study best, and just being able to use that to your advantage. For an example, a strength might be you work really, really well first thing in the morning. Use that to your advantage. Get up, smash it out. Don't try and leave it to the end of the day where you're literally putting a roadblock in front of your performance or your ability to do really, really well in whatever you're trying to do or for that task. So I think that's a really, really big thing, is understanding where you can excel and using it to your advantage.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that links in really, really highly with that, which I've written down here, is like emotional development. So learning how to take things with a grain of salt, learning that, you know, if you hit a roadblock or shit hits the fan, it's like, again, the whole failure thing is like, look at it, assess the situation, assess why it happened.
I think the emotional part of it is a huge part in today's world, especially because what happens is we're seeing, especially with social media, is we're seeing a lot of people. We're always seeing the good parts and people succeed, right?
Instagram is a highlight reel.
Instagram is a highlight reel. So what we're seeing is people succeeding constantly, people posting the best of what's going on in their life. And then you as a person and as a human
feel shit about yourself.
Feel shit about yourself.
They're making money. Exactly. They're doing this. Yeah.
You're trying to do the best that you can do, which is amazing and, you know, should not be overlooked. and then you're jumping on Instagram or whatever it is, and you're seeing people posting, their success and their, so definitely, and it's very discouraging. Very, very, it can be very like, if you're working hard, right? You got a business, you're smashing out those hours, you're doing well or whatever, or you've got goals of wanting to get into whatever industry you want to get into, and you're getting there, you're studying, you're putting in work, and then you're jumping online and you're seeing all these people with all the good shit already, like all the stuff like that. And what they're not saying and what they're not posting is that they've done the hard yards. So look, emotionally, it's a very big part of how you progress in life.
And
for sure.
exactly comes down to what Montana said in the previous episode. It's like doing the best you can with your available resources.
Correct.
But yeah, I think the emotional side of things is really, really big, because if you sort of get really, really upset and bummed out and sort of fall off the wagon every time the smallest hiccup comes about, you're going 3 steps back, 1 step forward instead of 1 step back, 2 steps forward. You're really letting that sort of roadblock and that hurdle set you back, because you're thinking, fuck, I stuffed up. Now what? What am I going to do? This is, it's all over. Again, take it with a grain of salt, reassess the situation, and whatever caused that that situation to occur, rectify that issue. And then that issue is no longer going to occur in the future because you've just smashed it out. Mm. And with the whole emotional side of things as well, it's like, and Leo was really big on this as well. And this is like a big theme I've actually seen. This is another thing we wanted to cover, but it sort of links in with this, like, themes that like all really successful people have, whether it be Gary Vee, whether it be Leo, whether it be Oscar, whether it be Max. Like, all these people have one thing in common. It's like there's no doubt, and it's 100% belief in themselves.
Correct.
Because if the second you doubt yourself,
spiral.
Yeah. Because you go, I want to earn $1 million. That's actually a really big number. Maybe I should go, just 500,000. But what happens if, the second you doubt yourself, as humans, we're wired to always think negative first. So the second you doubt yourself, you lose that, it's almost that drive, because you just put this roadblock in front of yourself, like, nah, it's not achievable. So, and the next thing on that, I find personally I've done really, really well, is you have to detach yourself from things that happen. You can't attach emotions to roadblocks or things that happen in business. Or let's say, for example, in my case, let's say I have a client drop off because they're going overseas, or for whatever financial reason they can't afford it, or whatever it might be. I can't go, oh shit, my business sucks, so I'm never going to make any money. Okay, take it with a grain of salt, move on. You have to detach your emotions from your business life, because the second you get attached to money or an object or something, and then that thing is gone and disappears, you're in the slumps. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a really, really big one. Almost got to have that it is what it is mindset. Again, this is another thing that I used to take really hard in school. I think this applies for, again, whether it be business, whether it be, your sales revenue for that month, whatever it might be. It's like, let's just take the school exam sort of test result, for example. Let's just say you started really hard and you only got like a 70%, let's just say. Not a shit mark, not ideal. Instead of going, oh my God, I'm so upset I only got 70, it's like, cool. You studied your best. You gave it your best shot.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a part to it, though.
So to cut you off. So actually, you cut me off. So fucking, you settle down.
No, I'm just giving you a taste of what you do to me.
Sorry. So let's say you get that 70%. Instead of dwelling on it and think, oh fuck, I fucked up that sack, I'm gonna do really shit. It's like, literally take it cool. It is what it is. You can't change it. It's done now. Think about how you can improve for the next coming test or the next month of revenue.
Yeah, but look, I feel like with that, it's you need to make sure that you are doing your best.
Hundy.
For sure, in all circumstances. And then that way that, all right, at least I tried my best.
Yes.
And, so it's like, it's not like if, we're relating it to school again. It's like if you go into an exam, you didn't study, you studied the night before, and you get a shit result, you can't be like, oh, fuck, you can't complain from that because you didn't try your best, and you didn't try your best. So you honestly cannot have any anger towards yourself. Again,
I've said this in previous episodes. I've always been that kid that has to try really, really hard to sort of do average. But again, I always went in going, cool, I studied, I did X amount of practice sacks, I tried my best, and I still got an average result. But I know I gave it my best result. Because what would shit me, imagine going into a test, studying only, a couple hours before, the night before, and getting an average result. I reckon that's more upsetting because imagine if I really tried hard.
That's so true.
How good my result would have been. So it's the same thing, whether it be a business, it's like, cool, I made this many calls, I reached out to this many people, and, I made this much money. How about if I doubled that or actually did what I was meant to do? How good would the results be then?
For sure. I actually want to, I don't know what you got on your list, but I want to briefly go through each episode and say something that I've learned from each one.
If you want, we can do that.
Yeah. Is that?
I mean, it's sort of, because it sort of links in with learning. That was the next thing, like
what we've learned so far.
Yeah, because the next sort of topic I said, like, learn more means that the more you learn, the better you're going to be in your field. So the more you continue to personally develop and upskill, the better you're going to be in your field, so you can provide a better product and a better service.
For sure. So let's just briefly start off with episode 1, right? Now, obviously, Karim and I had some sort of basis in terms of like trust and belief in ourselves for going and starting this MK Enterprises. You know, we had done obviously our own sort of work and understood what goals we wanted to achieve before we started this. And I will never forget the day. I just want to touch on it again. I won't forget the day I was at work and Karim, I think, was at work, and I called him up one day and I said, dude, I really want to potentially start a podcast and in the future. And
I literally remember that call. I was just like, yes. I was like, let's fucking do it. I was like,
let's do it. About personal development, you know, just have a chat as two blokes who
just want to help others.
Just want to help others.
We're on their own journey as well.
We're on our own journey. We still are. So I'll never forget that call we made at work. And then literally, I promise, like, I'm not lying.
A month? Not even?
A month later, we
up and running, did our first episode.
Yeah, sat down, planned everything. So I highly suggest. I wanted to also talk about the process of starting a business later in this episode. Don't forget that. So I'll get back to that. So we sat down, planned our first episode, got a name, ordered fucking microphones, ordered everything, planned it, where we're going to do it, how we're going to do it, what it's going to look like. And we literally, within 4 weeks, had our first episode going, right? And that also links with fucking...
If you want to achieve a goal, you take massive and immediate action. It's that simple.
That's all it is, guys.
Massive and immediate action, and your goals will become reality.
And you'll find once you get the ball rolling, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Momentum. Like honestly, I said, we started. It's just crazy. We started. We set up our Instagram and social media, everything like that. I remember as well messaging Karim like, bro, we got 50 followers.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, we're growing so fast.
We got 50 followers already. Like, it's fucking crazy, you know? And then we was like, Karim, we got 100 followers. Like, what the fuck's going on?
I even feel so humbled that big names are following us.
Exactly.
So like Teddy is following our account. Jamie K the other day followed our account. He reached out to us. We reached out to him. Like, these aren't like, you know, without being rude to, like, for lack of a better word, everyday people. Like, these people are very well known in their respective fields.
Yeah.
And they're like seeing what we're trying to do. So that's such a humbling thing. I think it's just, you know, growth, one step at a time. So and I always give this example to my client. It'd be easy to see on video. So let's say this is the bottom of your goals. Look at this. Look how slowly I'm increasing.
But if momentum.
If I do this for another minute, I'll be at the roof.
Yeah.
So that's all. It's literally 1% better.
Yep.
Every fucking day.
Yep. So that's how we started. Episode 1, failure. Karim and I came into this journey knowing our relationship with failure was strong. We understood that failing is actually the biggest fucking learning curve.
Yep.
And like Leo said in episode 2, is failure is like trying to bake a cake without flour, I think he said. Yeah. So we understood that. That's why we really wanted to start off this podcast journey with failure and our relationship with it and why it's not bad. And we feel like a lot of people, you know, in life can get distracted from failing. And even though you think you might, like, even myself personally, it's like there's still times in life where I not fail. Like I said, I don't want to call it failing, but I do fail, but I immediately understand the learning from that situation, whatever it is. So definitely that's why we wanted to start episode 1. So that's why, episode 2 with Leo was unreal. He provided so much value.
Episode 2 with Leo.
Episode 1 was failure. Episode 2 was with Leo.
Because before you said episode 1 with Leo.
Oh, my bad. No. Anyway, because we spoke about failure anyway. So episode 2 with Leo was fantastic. He provided so much
I think you
value.
sort of just double covered that.
Yeah,
Let's go on to
because
3.
in terms of business as well and how he got started was really interesting.
No, but I'm
to hear
saying
his
you
journey.
covered failure. So let's go on to 3.
3 was Uncut, which is just
A good laugh.
a good laugh. If you guys haven't heard of
But
Uncut,
actually, on a serious note, episode 3 and the uncut ones we've been doing, we did that for a genuine reason.
because it reflects balance.
That's number 1. And 2, it's like enjoying the process.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that we don't enjoy talking about business and personal development, but it's like, you're allowed to have days off. Oh, mind Michael, he's very fat. Stop eating.
I'm so sorry. I just like buckle up.
Oh, show the camera.
Great.
Pilot.
Violet.
Anyways, but yeah, balance is important. Genuinely enjoy the process. Episode 4.
Episode 4 was taking action, the key to success. Now, this one really resonates with me, right?
MAIA. Aaron Sansoni, if you're watching this, please respond.
Take action. This episode really resonated with me because...
You say resignated?
Oh my God, fucking hell. I've got fucking resignated. Is that your laugh, bro? Was that your laugh?
I'm dead. I'm fucking dead.
Sorry. I've got fucking like shit in my mouth. It's making...
Resignated.
Resigning.
Oh, ESL. English second language.
Resigning from the podcast, guys. This episode is the last.
Looking for a new business partner? Send your resumes to MK.
This episode was special to me because this was the first time I have had someone that had listened to the podcast come up to me personally and thank both Karim and I for that episode. So Karim and I were out at Chadstone one day together. I'm just having a shop. I won't forget it. And then one of these guys that we knew had been listening to the podcast, and he came up to me and he was like, "Hey Michael, how are you?" I was like, "Yeah, good man. How are you?" He's like, "Yeah, good." He's like, "Dude, I just want to wish you, all the congratulations with starting the podcast." And he's like, "I want to thank you so much too, because I just listened to episode 4, Taking Action." And he's like, "Michael, I genuinely listened to it and I took action, and I saw this, this girl that I've been like wanting to ask out for a while." And he's like, "And after listening to your episode, I was like, fuck, you know what? I'm just going to do it. It's like what we spoke about." And he went up to her and he fucking, he asked her out and she said yes. And like, I don't know what the situation is at the moment, but like that is the point and that is the shit that I love. Like that literally made my whole fucking week, like hearing that stuff. So we provided that episode, Taking Action, and we had someone come up to us in public and thank us for that because they benefited from that episode. And like that's the shit that matters to us anyway at the end of the day.
With the Taking Action thing, something else I've seen, I was introduced to as of recently, and I think is really important alongside that is if an opportunity arises that, something obviously that you wanted, not just like a random opportunity that you didn't want, say yes now and figure it out later.
Yeah. Because
sometimes, again, we're humans, we want to stay in our shell, we don't like being uncomfortable. So you go, "Well, hey, bro, I've got a new job for you. I know you've been looking at real estate. You want to get into the field." And you go, no, I'm not ready yet. Or say yes, figure it out later.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't miss the opportunity.
Yeah,
take it.
Cannot miss the opportunity.
Again, that was one from Aaron Sansoni. Like, he's a machine, man.
Feeling uncomfortable and comfortability is another fucking
It's
a whole fucking episode in itself. Anyway, episode 5 was the power of manifestation, which was fucking like pretty interesting.
Yeah. This
bloke was
oh, hate the moon.
So manifestation was an interesting one because we found that when you put your mind to it,
speak properly into the microphone.
Sorry, fix it. What did you get out of manifestation? Because I thought it was pretty interesting.
I just found that I didn't know there was that many aspects to it, and then once we started digging deep into it, I was like, I didn't know this was a thing. Yeah. I thought it was just like, put shit as your wallpaper, feel it, try on that piece of clothing, go look at that car, whatever it might be.
Definitely very powerful. And I still do it to this day.
100%.
Still do it to this day without knowing that I'm doing it. It's like manifestation could be like when you're driving on the road, you see a Lambo, like, fuck, one day, or like you envision it,
Yeah.
Honestly,
vision boards are so underrated. So underrated.
First thing I did after that episode was go off and
that's another thing. Again, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about themes that we've seen other successful people do. Again, Oscar Ledlin is one of the best in this. Like he's got two laptops, two screens at his office, and they're both vision boards of the car, the house, the light. It's not even about all the material thing. It's just how you want your life to be, who you want your friends to be, what you know, all the little things. I know Michael and I pretty much both have our phone covers. Show the camera. Oh, it turned off.
Very bad.
You know, our phone screens as what we want. Again, it's not all material thing. It's like I've just got like little quotes that sort of help me keep moving forward. The car, the quotes family I want.
Quotes are good.
You know. And again, it doesn't seem like much, but how many times do you unlock your phone a day?
Exactly.
Bang, you got to look at it even if it's for half a second every time. Throughout the day, that probably adds up to 5 minutes staring at your phone without even noticing.
Another quick thing is this. I'm pretty sure a lot of people have it now. If you got Apple Watches, iPhones, whatever, is the motivation app. It gives you quotes and stuff. It's awesome. I definitely recommend.
Gee the fuck up, bro.
I definitely.
We all have a little bit of this in us.
I definitely highly recommend anyone who hasn't gotten it yet to download it on their phone. Like my one for today is don't quit. You're already in pain. You're already hurt. Get a reward from it. Like that is just like you're already feeling shit. Yeah. So don't quit. Keep going and actually receive the award. Like literally, just shit again, like
imagine that you've been working on your business. You're struggling. You're super tired. You've been working long hours, and then you decide to quit and then not making any money. How shitty are you gonna feel knowing that you gave up and that you could have been a lot more successful if you just didn't stop?
Yep.
As much as it sucks now, you're probably gonna thank yourself in the long term. So give it a run.
Episode 6 was another uncut with Teddy, which was probably one of my
so much fun.
favorite episodes because that was.
I still haven't done the whole like put your KFC in the air fryer thing. What are you doing after this? You want to get KFC?
Oh,
gonna get muggers.
I would love that. We get KFC after finding. That was a really, really good episode. And Teddy, the one thing about Teddy is Teddy's so much more than that guy on TikTok that is angry about everything.
Angry about everything.
Oh no, I'm serious.
Just this Teddy, angry Arab with thick eyebrows. That's always yelling.
Teddy is so much more than that, and I saw that in the podcast. He's literally
super switched on,
super switched on. One of the most humble people I've ever met. Really, really top guy, and I feel like he could have provided. He provides so much more than comedy. He's got a lot of life experience. He's got so much to offer.
A good take-home tip. So my take-home tip from that is, if you're someone who wants to reach out to a big brand or a famous person on Instagram to just connect with them, whatever it might be, do it. Fucking do it. Even if you have to message them 10 times, because at the end of the day, they're all human. They're not like that's we all have this big persona. We have this big stigma, like, oh, this guy's famous, or he's going to think I'm an idiot for messaging him. They're human. They've got feelings. They've got emotions. They've got a heart that's pumping inside of them. Message them. They're not going to yell at you. They might leave you on scene if they're a little bit narcissistic. Other than that, what? You're going to brush it off and move on. So again, take action. Message the person. They're just humans. They're probably going to help you out.
The next episode after Teddy's was...
But so, again, it's like, we were scared, trying to message Teddy and all these other people with big names. Like, hey, do you want to come on? Like, they would have looked at our Instagram thinking, oh, these guys got like 200 followers. Like, why should I message them back? But you gave it a shot. Some people said yes, some people said no.
Yeah, we threw it out there for sure.
Give it a shot.
The next episode we had was discipline and consistency.
Johnny Starr.
That was a fucking fantastic episode.
We had some really good feedback on that. That was amazing, bro.
Johnny did a lot.
Yeah,
for sure.
But again, it's the same principle. Literally, there's like a few basic principles that are just thrown on repeat. So it's first one, take action. And then once you take action, that's when Johnny Starr comes in, and it's discipline and consistency. So it's just repeating those actions on and on and on and on, again. The 1% effort every single day, and majority wins. That's how you get the long-term outcomes.
Yeah, look, Johnny was honestly really, really good. Johnny sort of reminded me a tad of, I go blanking. What's his name?
I don't know, cuz.
Can't hurt me. David Goggins, right? Johnny sort of reminds me of that in the sense of like, when he's got it in his mind, in terms of discipline, he's got it in his mind. Yeah. Nothing will like stop him. Like he was, if you saw how he came to the podcast, he was like so busy, and then like he had his meals that he had to get in. Like
he literally just finished selling a house, came, had his gym clothes, went straight to the gym, had all his meals in Tupperware.
And some people for that like just don't even like they're so like lazy compared to like that. Like,
so just to put things into perspective, obviously some people, do bodybuilding competitions and do their contest prep, which is really, really fucking hard, and they're on a strict meal plan, no fucking around for, sometimes, 20 weeks, whatever it might be. Johnny hadn't missed a meal in a year and a half.
Can I just say too?
Over a year.
I've been like 2.5 weeks in real estate and I don't have time to fucking scratch my ass. So how he does it as well is just crazy.
Discipline.
So yeah, Johnny's was definitely and if you haven't heard it, go back and listen to it because
there's a really good quote that comes from that. It's like, discipline is doing what you hate but doing it like you love it.
I feel like I want to play his reel because his reel that he said was so good. The one where he's like,
cut people out of your life.
Cut people out of your life. If you've got someone, and that was another take home I took. If you've got those people in your life that are toxic and just absolutely dragging you down,
get rid of them.
Cut them out. And you know what? You find if you cut those people out, you'll see like they're not even the ones putting in the effort in that relationship sometimes. Do you get what I'm saying? So like they're not the ones that are messaging you. You're the one putting in the message there. But if you've got toxic people in your life, cut them out. And if you know deep down, and that's what he says in the reel. Oh, fuck, I'm going to play it. He says in the reel, he's like, deep down that they're shit for you, to a T.
Very bad. They're very bad.
Very bad.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
They're very bad.
I'm going to play it.
Oh, speed is up.
I'm not a fan of...
Yeah.
In your life now, you're going to have friends that like you need to cut the fuck out of your life straight away.
Spot on.
And deep down they're shit cunts. Put yourself first, because once you become the best version of yourself, you help more people.
I think you memorise
that. How good is it, bro? Seriously. So like what he said there.
Oh, somebody make us famous on like TikTok or something. Like share it around. Like fucking get like Joe Rogan to say it or something, please.
Fucking hell. Anyway,
somebody famous.
Episode 8 was with Montana, coaching and self-development, which was fucking really, really
important. My mind you watch that video back, you see my brain just start farting.
Shout out to Montana. She was amazing in that episode. She literally just came on.
The best thing I can take home from that is do the best you can with your current available resources.
Yep.
Don't think about, what I could do if I had you've got a piece of paper and a pen, do the best you can with that.
What I took from that episode was it's so important to be asking yourself the right questions. Yeah. Remember, the thing she did with me, like on that episode, it was like...
Find your why.
Yeah, find your why. No, she was just asking me question after question after question after question. And I was trying to answer them, and I was answering them.
I do the same thing with my clients. Like when we're doing the goal setting, like, cool, you want to lose weight. And they go, I was like, why do you want to lose weight? Oh, like I want to look better. Yeah, but no, what's the real reason? Oh, I want to look better. Yeah, but why? Is it a self-esteem thing? Is it that you don't like taking your top off? Is it that you feel uncomfortable?
Deep.
Yeah, what's the deep-rooted question? Why are you doing... Why have you set these goals? For most people, it's not just about, I want to make money. Why do you want to make money? You want to take your family out of debt. You want to be able to live in a nice home. You want to be financially free. You know what I mean? It's not just like, money's cool, man. I want a Lamborghini.
Cool, man.
Cool car, man.
Cool car, brother. Pilot grape. So that was definitely a great episode. Episode
9.
9 with Diana. Was it 9? Yes.
Yeah,
Power Productivity. That was another fantastic episode.
Yeah.
I took so much from that. So much.
Understanding again how inefficiently we've been managing our time and just studying and learning new things. That was the biggest thing. Break things up into small blocks, block things out. And so the take-home point from Diana's one was be specific with your learning. So it's not just cool, I want to learn about crypto. That's shit. That doesn't give you anything. Because you can watch 10 hours worth of videos. It's very specific answer. So like, cool. What is a blockchain? Or what is a stable coin? Be very specific with your learning and you get a specific outcome.
And the whys. Why is it important?
Yep.
Where is it?
Yep.
What is it?
The 5 W's.
The 5 W's.
Yep.
It's just simplicity. That's all it is.
We literally learned this in grade 3 and then we fucking forget about it.
And then we forget about it. But it's applying it now is important.
Handy.
Episode 10 was why you need NFTs with Dylan Johnstone, which was fucking unbelievable. That was such a good episode. But then, like, this is our first one about NFTs and crypto and stuff. And people ask, like, why and what?
Just to sort of get you guys back on track, the reason we're going over these is because we were trying to sum up the take-home tips that you guys need to be applying.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. So you can go through this episode and cool, yep, I got to take action. I got to take this with a grain of salt. I got to learn about this. This is how I'm going to manage my time. And you apply all those and everything should 100% skyrocket. So Dylan's one was like, again, seeing what's happening in the world and getting in on it early.
Adapting.
Adapting. Because again, he was like military and then prison guard and did it all. And he's like, I've just got to do this and this is what's happening. It's the same thing with like Facebook. You know, when it first came out, I was like, oh, who needs Facebook, whatever. Or the internet, like, oh, why do I need to go there? I can just read a newspaper. And then all of a sudden now it's like the biggest app in the world or whatever it might be.
Yeah. So that was the first. So I feel like the last few episodes we've done have been about NFTs and cryptos and the future and shit. 11 was the future of real estate with Christian Gravius, which is another great episode and was really good to hear his perspective of
learning how and why to invest in certain ways.
Yep. And how the future moves forward. Episode 12 was another uncut with Roland.
But again, that we still got heaps from that because it's all about perspective.
It is, yeah.
It's all about perspective.
And episode 13, which came out last week, which is why people are making millions through crypto with Max Strategies, which was
huge.
A lot of you probably listened to that episode and were like, what the fuck?
I literally had one of my friends.
And so did I.
I had one of my friends, Anthea, message me. She's like, I'm like 10 minutes in. My brain's like, what the fuck? It's just like, what does this mean? But that's exactly what we need because you're learning. If you knew everything, then there'd be no point of listening to it.
And by us providing these episodes where you're sitting there, you're listening and you're like, what the fuck is a blockchain? And then that alone is making you go off on Google and searching that up. What is a blockchain? And then you read about that and then like, fuck, what is crypto? Why is crypto important? And then from there, and at the end of the day, that's what it is. And whether it's like 10 people taking the step from that episode or 5 people or even one person, that's what we're all about at the end of the day is like, all right, shit, what is NFTs? Let's
But what people don't realize is them going off after watching that episode and Googling something about cryptos, whether it be about business, whatever it might be, they don't even realize that action in itself is personal development.
100%. And that's what we want.
That's exactly what we want.
At the end of the day, that is what we want.
So
we've gone through the episode. So
the last couple of things we want to touch on, which again is about personal development and growing and learning, is that there's no price in education. So there's a course I did, an upskilling course as a part of like my PT course. No, not a part of my PT. I just did an upskilling to learn more about coaching, etc. It wasn't that expensive. It was like $1,500. And I actually did the same course twice to really make sure I got the most out of it. So my point is here, don't put a price on education because the ROI is 1, very, very high, and 2, long term. For an example, let's say I learned this new magical science behind, how to lose fat quicker or whatever it might be. Yeah, it cost me $1,000 to do that course.
Oh, any hex stats coming around?
But how much am I going to be able to make in return? Because I'm going to get more clients and get better results and then more referrals and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with becoming really good, doing an upskilling course for a real estate agent. You're going to be able to sell better, auction better, speak better. More people are going to refer you. You're going to sell more houses. So again, the ROI, and that's another thing. People always think and always try and get instant gratification for the action. Business, money, success,
understand it's a process.
It's always long-term yield. Even Dylan said NFT is long-term. Max said, if you want to hold long-term, yeah, it can work. But if you want to make quick money, it all varies. So my point is invest in whatever you're trying to be good at in your space, whether it be marketing, whether it be real estate, personal training, accounting, whatever it might be. Upskill, learn, and then reap the rewards later in long term, and then apply it. That's the biggest thing. That's the reason I did the course twice, because I did it and I was like, oh, this didn't work. And I looked back, I was like, shit, I actually didn't apply any of it. So if they tell you you're going to make X amount of calls to get X amount of leads, do it. Because there's no point of them telling you and go, yeah, I did the course. Doesn't mean anything. Same thing with reading a book. Everyone's like, yeah, bro, I read this sick book, but I didn't get anything out of it.
It's a book.
Did you read? You're an idiot. It's like, yeah, reading something, but actually applying it is something.
Mm-hmm.
You can go to all the seminars, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, whatever you want. If you're not applying what they've told you, useless. Useless.
One thing I want to touch on quickly before we wrap up is, do you have much more that you want to?
No, that was pretty much it, bro.
One thing I want to touch on is business and starting a business. because a lot of my friends actually come up to me and are like, oh, you know, how do you manage it, or how do you do it? What do you actually have to do? What's important in terms of starting a business? So just to give you a rundown, I'm obviously in the midst of finishing up my bachelor's degree, but I've got MK Enterprises as well. And then I've only just recently started my new career in real estate, which has been fucking full on. So people come up to me and ask me, like, you know, how do you do it and what do you do specifically to start? So one thing I definitely would suggest is understand what you want to do, right? So whether it be you want to start a fucking donut business, or whether you want to start a shoe business or a t-shirt, understand what it is specifically you want to do. So create a goal for yourself. And then from there, you ask the questions on, again, setting yourself goals. So what you want to do, how big you want to get, what avenue you want to set up. But one thing people don't talk about in stuff like this is structure of business. Speak to an accountant. Yep. I cannot stress this enough. When you're starting a business, especially if you've got huge ambitions on growing, go and speak to a lawyer, go and speak to an accountant, speak to a financial advisor, right? Mostly an accountant. I can't stress enough for accountants. They will help you set up and establish the legal structure of your business in the best way possible. So you tell them what you want. Now, for example, if you know you want to invest in the future, for example, right? And you want, say, borrowing capacity, you're talking about all this shit with your accountant. So if you know you want to buy properties down the track and you want to buy them through your name or through a business and stuff, this is all information you get through an accountant, right? If you want investment properties. So this is all shit to consider. So yeah, you can go off and start your business in your own name. That's great. That's a great start. I'm not saying anything bad about that, but really understand what goals you want in the future. Even little things like so setting up
the right bank account. Like, you're going to
have right bank account,
like a trust, joint, is it like trust, joint? Do you have separate cards?
Yeah, so structure like that. And one thing people don't understand is like, oh, you can actually, through those trusts or whatever, you buy your house and your cars and stuff. Like, it doesn't have to be through your name. It's all about security and stuff at the end of the day, and whatever position you're in. So I want to stress that. Go and speak to an accountant. Make sure when you're starting a business, right, whether it's successful or not, it will continue to, you know, progress and grow and be right from the get-go. Planning's definitely important. Understand your market. If you've got, I don't know why I'm going donuts. I'm just fucking hungry. If you've got a donut business, right, you got, all right, what are my competitors right now in the market? What are they doing and what are they not doing, right? Mm-hmm. So Daniel's Donuts, for example, all right, they're here, they're there. Do they do online delivery? Yeah, they do it through Uber Eats, blah, blah, blah. So you're understanding your competitors and what they're doing and how to be different. So point of difference is very important for business. You're right.
Yeah, I'm just putting up a point again here that Aaron Tansoni said. So there's 3 points that like all businesses should be in. So it's like you draw like a Venn diagram. One circle is like what the customer wants to buy.
Exactly.
One circle is what your competitors are doing, and the other circle is what you're doing. So if you open another donut business, exact same as Daniel's Donuts, you're gonna lose.
Yeah. What?
Unless you have a point of difference, unless you're cheaper, can make the donuts faster, unless you have new flavors, you're gonna lose.
Exactly. So
you need to find what your customer, what the niche wants, and what your competitors aren't doing. That's your niche.
POD, point of difference.
That's it. It's so important. Differentiation. It's the first thing you learn in business. Even in high school, you learn it's like either you need to have differentiation or lower price point. They're the two main differences to how you can succeed in a competitive market.
And one of the last things I want to put up on when it comes to business is, I can't stress this enough too, is develop a fucking system that is smart. And I'm going to say straight up, what in the history of existence in this fucking world, one of the most successful businesses that there is to date is McDonald's. Can we agree to that? Yes. One thing McDonald's does well is, one, people don't understand, but they're actually in the real estate game, right? So they buy the land and sell the franchise. And the one thing that makes McDonald's work so well is a well developed business system. Yep. And that means in terms of the layout, efficiency. That's why you're getting your fucking burger in 2-3 minutes. Quick, right? They developed a system that was flawless and quick and completely successful. Yeah. So when you're starting a business, right? Again, linking back to how Diana says, like, plan and work smart, don't work hard, right?
Both.
Work both, but like develop a system that benefits you as a business owner. So obviously when you start, you're going to have to put in the hard yards, right? That's a no-brainer. Unless you have a substantial amount of capital money to invest into wages and stuff, you're going to be putting in the hard yards, right? Just be smart on how you set up a system. Like I say, again, if you're in a donut, make sure you lay out everything that the business is doing is smart and systematic.
For example, if we take Daniel's Donuts, how long do you fucking wait on a Friday night for donuts? Because it's ridiculous.
At the end of the day, I'm sure most people can agree that they want a goal of passive income. And if you've got a proper business system set up where you don't even have to be at work, or you can come in and it runs self-sufficiently, that's important. That's great. And that's what the goal is for. I don't know, for you guys, everyone has their own goal, but for me, that's definitely one I want to touch on. I just wanted to say those few points that I think are very important when it comes to starting a business. I honestly hope they helped you. And if you know.
So to wrap up this episode, everything we've said today, went through all the episodes. Use this episode, listen to it. We've summed up the take-home tips. Grab those take-home tips, apply them, run with them, get yourself into gear, start moving forward. Other than that,
use it as like a reference list.
Yep, this is a reference. Am I doing this? Almost like a to-do list, like a checklist. Am I doing these things in my business and day-to-day life? Other than that, thank you very much for listening to another episode. As always, if you're listening, share it on your story, tag us, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, comment, engage.
We really appreciate it.
We do appreciate it. Again, if there's any particular topics you want covered or any particular guests you want on, send it to us, tag them, let them know. And we'll see you guys in the next episode. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.